of events as prescribed under Section 33 of the County Governments Act. And definitely, as we sit here, it's not in dispute that the County Assembly has the jurisdiction, the first jurisdiction or the first instance in moving a motion for the impeachment of the governor. However, Mr. Speaker, in doing so, they must do so within the confines of the law and the edicts of the Constitution. They must adhere in the very least to Article 10, the principles and values of governance, and must do so within the provisions of Article 181. Therefore, before this House can admit this motion, it must be was met. But in determining this question, serious issues have been raised on what transpired in the Assembly on that day, Mr. Speaker. Several clips, videos have been played in this House on what transpired. And what can be seen is that from those videos and the picture which has been painted is that for the first time, the Kericho County Assembly introduced electronic voting system. The MCAs had never been trained about this system. It has not been controverted by our colleagues from the side of the Assembly. It's also in addition that it is on the floor of that motion that the Speaker of the Assembly informed the MCAs that now the electronic voting system had been deployed. From the ICT officer of the Assembly, Mr. Alfred Mutai, Mr. Speaker, when that question was put to him, he admitted that the system was deployed 2 days before. The MCAs had not been given an opportunity to interact with the system, create their own passwords, so that the vote which they are going to cast is going to be linked to a particular MCA. This goes to the verifiability of that particular vote. It is not about the numbers at this point. It's about the process within which that election was undertaken. Because an election is not just an event, it's a process, Mr. Speaker. It can also be seen from those clips which have been played in this House that there was a division in the Assembly. And when there is a division, the standing order requires that a roll call vote is taken on that issue. The issue was raised by one Gabriela, who has been called as a witness before this House, and was supported by 17 others, making a total of 18. And it is at that point, the standing order number 79, Honorable Senators, that required the Speaker to direct a roll call vote to be undertaken on that issue, Mr. Speaker. However, the Speaker of the Assembly instead went on to declare that the voting was going to proceed electronically. It is not clear why at this point, for a matter of this magnitude, because as we sit here, the decision that is going to be undertaken, that was undertaken by the Assembly, is going to take away the political right of the governor, because he was declared as the duly elected governor. But on the same breath, is going to take away the decision and the will of the people of Kericho County. So that a matter of this magnitude, it has not been explained by the Assembly why was the rush to use the system, which was being piloted for the first time, to vote on this motion, Mr. Speaker. And looking at that system and the various questions which have been raised by the Honorable Senators, it's clear that the system had serious doubts. There were serious issues of manipulation, and the three ICT experts, as they came here, they could not clarify or clear the doubts which were raised by the senators. There was issues which were raised about the geographical location of the particular votes. And as we stand here, every vote could not have been linked to the geographical location. And the answer is one. The configuration or the manner in which the system has been set does not secure the votes. Mr. Speaker, it is also admitted, it's not disputed, that on the material day, I have heard the counsel for the governor indicate that the username is like the email address, and the password was unique, but in this case, it was an ID number. How many times do we sign with our ID numbers when called upon? It is clear from the list of even the laptops that was applied to them that they had to write their own ID numbers. As they signed various registers, Mr. Speaker, they had to indicate the ID numbers. So what is unique about the ID numbers when we talk about a password? And it is clear from the 3 ICT experts that the two-factor authentication or the multi-factor authentication was not created for this system, so that every particular vote can be linked to the MCA. Also, at the same time, from the Hansard at page 195 of the governor's Bado, the Speaker himself of the Assembly publicly announced that the ID number is the password. So it was no longer a secret of what the password was, Mr. Speaker. And at the same time, issues arose about whether the MCAs had brought the tools of trade, particularly the gadgets which were required to conduct business. But as it has been shown, is for the first time they were going to use electronic voting. No prior notice had been given to the MCAs, and that was declared on the floor. So that when the MCAs have given evidence that they did not have their phones, they cannot then be faulted, because in the normal conducting of their business back in the Assembly, it is for the first time that they were required to use their phones. Mr. Speaker, it has also been shown also about the user name, which is not disputed, that the first link had all the usernames. And every MCA had access to the link and could then access the username or the IPPD address for the MCAs. And with that, Mr. Speaker, the case for the Assembly is that 3 voted. But the question the House should ask is the verifiability of these 33 votes. Can you link the vote of each and every which was casted or which is said to have been casted to the particular MCA? It has also been admitted that the MAC address for the devices used in casting these votes could not be submitted to this House by either of the ICT officers. And with that, even as we narrow down, on the governor's side is that 18 MCAs did not vote. And narrowing it down is that there are 4 disputed votes in this case. That's the vote of Martin Kiprangat, who testified yesterday. We have the vote of Kibet Mosuben. We have the vote of Amos Biril and Edna Chepkirui. And just to attempt to address the issue of Edna, she has 2 conflicting affidavits. And as the Assembly is faulting the governor's side for not calling this witness, they have equally not called her to come and produce this affidavit. And as such, we are left at a point whether indeed she did sign that affidavit with the Assembly. But also we have the clip of Kibet Mosuben, which was played where he received a call from Mr. Logon, who was the motion mover. And the best defense the motion mover would give was that that's not my voice and I do not drink. But he has not given controverting or evidence to controvert that evidence. He has not given his call logs to say, on this particular date, I did not call Honorable Kibet. He has not controverted that clip apart from just denying, which is so easy to say, that's not my voice as it is, even when clip has been played. And so that, Mr. Speaker, as I wind up, from the system, without these doubts being created, the ICT officer from the Assembly could not supply the system security certificate for this system, could not supply the penetration certificate for this system. He also admitted there was no personalized password which was created for every MCA. And what was available as the password was the ID which was available to other third parties. So that the question then the Honorable Senator should ask, how secure was the system? And how verifiable is the vote which was cast? Honorable Senators, as you look at the affidavit of Mr. Alfred Kimutai, the ICT officer, at paragraph 23, 30, 31, and 32, it is his admission that the system designed is very simple, accurate, verifiable, secure, and user-friendly. However, with the doubts which have been created about the system, has it met those standards? But also in the same breath, even after this House, let me use it on a right note, ordered for the server to be opened. And the ICT experts had to testify. It has created more doubts than answers to these honorable senators about the verification of the votes and the security of that system. And it's not even in any way comforting. But if that doubt then is there, and the verifiability of the vote cannot be proven, the integrity of the system cannot be proven, it cannot then be said the 2/3 threshold was met. And it is thus our submission, Mr. Speaker, that the jurisdiction of this House has then been prematurely been invoked in this case. And the charges and the motion by the Assembly should not be admitted. Thank you. We can have my senior pick it up from there.
Mr. Speaker, sir, and the honorable senators, allow me to pick up from where my colleague has left and complete our submissions on the questions of the ICT issues raised in these proceedings. And simultaneously, when addressing that question, I'll be principally making submissions on our preliminary objection. The question of threshold, and the most important thing is whether we have information before this House on whether 33 MCAs actually voted to, of necessity, provide a basis for this House to make a decision. Allow me to first of all say that as lawyers, we are not experts in IT. Throughout these proceedings, myself, it's been a learning experience, and up to now, I can say without contradicting myself that I know where the problem is, and I know then in terms of the decision on what went wrong, the vulnerabilities of the system, the missing gaps, the information which is required for purposes of making submissions before this Senate. And it is important to just highlight, as a way of reaction, to what the learned Ongoya said with respect to lawyers providing evidence. That is not true. This is a house of record. It's a house of evidence. What happened, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, what happened is that the County Assembly created what we call a demo website. A demo website 2 days ago. And that demo website, for us who are participating in this impeachment process, based on the information which was available by the County Assembly in Volume 4A, and that is where I'm going to focus my submissions on. Based on the information available, publicly available, and that's one of the issues which we have demonstrated here as a major vulnerability of this process on the aspect of verifiability, accuracy, and authenticity of the system, confidentiality and data protection, which has a heavy constitutional implication. So one of the, if you look at page 1 of Volume 1, Volume 4A, if you look at page 1 of Volume 4A, there is information which I accessed and which was accessible to anyone at the County Assembly and all the MCAs at that time. The information is the IPPD numbers of the MCAs. That was the username which was supposed to be used to access this site, and that has been confirmed by the testimony of all the expert witnesses here. And the three of them, from the County Assembly, County Executive, and Office of the Governor, and the expert witness from the Senate. Then this system, how do you access it? You access it using an ID number. Again, from the ICT policy and the best practices in software development, we have been told that it is not a proper security safeguard to access such a system with an ID number. So what happened is that the County Assembly 2 days ago created a demo website. So with this information that is easily available, it is it was then possible for anyone to key in and access that system. So it begs then the question, because the ID numbers are contained in volume 4A, that is page 1. The IPPD numbers are in page 4. And it begs a fundamental question which it keeps on recurring in this House, even from the questions which have been asked by the senators and the responses which were given by the ICT expert from government, from the ICT authority. This information, we request the Senate to take judicial notice of the information contained in an IPPD number. Who else can access that information within a county government setup? Payroll staff in the county government, county assembly can definitely access the payroll number for the MCS. The persons who created this system, the IT administrator, and the evidence has been laid here, clear, express, and unequivocal, that a link was sent to the administrator of this system. So he also had access to this system. The other persons who had access to this system are any person then who had mischief. Any person who had mischief will then access this system because it's data that is easily available. So that concern, we are saying, is an important aspect which you need to consider when making your decision on the question of threshold, which is a requirement of Section 33, Paragraph 2 of the County Government Act. Because the meat of this matter, the substance of this matter, the question that is before the Senate for determination is whether 33 MCS actually voted. Secondly, whether the 33 MCS met the constitutional threshold. Thirdly, whether the 3 MCS who claim that they were not, they did not vote, but someone voted for them, whether that evidence is credible, and if that is accepted by the Senate, then it affects the threshold. It affects the threshold. It means then there is no proper motion before the House, and on that basis, based on the legal doctrine that the law matters, that county assembly as a house is also governed by the law. We can do what we want, yes, but we must follow the law. We are all servants of the law. It is the law that drives everything that we do, including proceedings that are conducted at the county assembly. So that in this case, the Senate has a duty and an obligation to verify the authenticity of the 3 votes, because they will bring down the threshold, and then it means, and based on the ruling which was issued by the Speaker yesterday, that when voting on that question, if you believe that the 3 MCS, including Honorable Trump, did not vote, and remember, these MCS have come to the House. They have come here and told you by their word of mouth that I, Honorable so-and-so, I did not vote on this motion. And there are 3 of them. And their testimony is consistent with what transpired in the House. The question that you'll be left with is, do you believe these MCS who said that they did not vote so that you can make a decision on the threshold? Or do you believe a computer-generated information which has so many doubts to the extent that the entire House is asking questions? The question which this House is asking, and which all the senators have observed are asking, is really fundamental. We cannot put this down there. We are not downplaying the allegations against the governor. We have responded to them. But what we are saying is that, did these 3 MCAs vote? What does the evidence tell us? Let's look at the evidence. Where is the evidence? If you look at, Mr. Speaker, the evidence is contained in volume 4A. Evidence has been laid here by experts, all of them, that when you using a gadget such as a computer, which is internet enabled, When you vote using a laptop or a tablet or a desktop, there are unique codes that identifies that gadget in the system. This code is known as the MAC address. When you sign into the Wi-Fi, using that gadget, it will leave a digital fingerprint, a digital print, digital evidence on that system for purposes of anyone who then audits that system, checking and ascertaining that MCA A, B, C voted in that system. So that is a fundamental question that we must always ask ourselves when we are determining that preliminary, voting on the preliminary objection. Is there information before this House? Mr. Speaker, sir, when I asked the government ICT expert a question, deliberate question, it is because of that. Because yesterday we were with this ICT officer. We were raising concerns about various things. One, whether the ICT officer from the ICT authorities can be able to comprehensively answer all the questions with the information which they have. We asked the question which was asked by a senator here, whether they can be able to hack into the, do a soft hack. It's called a soft intrusion. Whether they can be able to hack into the system to verify the identity of the MAC addresses, to get those logs. We asked that question, and then the ICT officer walked out for 2 hours, and then came back. So we were appreciably apprehensive. What did this ICT officer go out to do for 2 hours? From between 2:30 p.m. and 4:30, after the speaker had issued directions that we need to be there and ensure that this audit is done and it's a time-bound activity. Why would he do that? So we were appreciably apprehensive. When the ICT officer came back, and if you look at the report which he has submitted, he did not want to explain. His approach was that yes or no. The speaker has said, is it verifiable or not? Then he said, I will respond to the question the way I want, yes or no. That's what happened. That's what happened, yes or no. That's why if you look at the report of the ICT officer, and if you look at the report, it does not contain the information which we asked him to put on the report, which this Senate has been raising this afternoon. That evidence of the MAC addresses. We told him, and he has confirmed here, we told him, why can't you simply say in your report that for you to verify that MCA A, B, C, and D voted, you need their MAC addresses of the gadgets which they used, and these MAC addresses are in the system. And then he told us orally that this MAC addresses, yes, you need them, but I will not put them in the report. Mr. Speaker, sir, that is the context in which the governor's side said, then we cannot sign this report. Even though they participated in the report generation, they were there when the logs were being extracted, the logs which are in the report. Those logs, same logs are in the county assembly document, and these logs will tell you only one side of the story. They will tell you only one side of the coin. Only one side of the coin. And it does not answer the question which is before the Senate. Which is this side of the coin? That 33 MCAs voted. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me say here, as part of our submissions, in a very, very clear and succinct manner. Indeed, we have looked at the evidence submitted by the county assembly, the data generated from the system, by the county assembly, and as extracted by this, by the expert speaker, the expert witness, and the expert witness also of the governor. And there is information that 33 MCS actually voted for this motion. There is information that 33 MCS voted for this motion. It is there. It's there in page 4A. But the fundamental question, because the governor's team is saying, so and so did not vote for this motion. And there are 3 of them. So the question then that begs the answer, which all the experts have not answered to now, which leaves doubt in the minds of everyone, including myself as a lawyer. Where can you with certainty tell us that this MCA, that MCA for this particular ward used this gadget to vote. Because then that will weed out. It will weed out and completely foreclose, Mr. Speaker, sir, the statement, the oral evidence which has been made by these MCAs. Because these three MCAs are saying, I did not vote. I, Honorable so-and-so, I did not vote for this motion. I did not vote. Mr. Speaker, sir, that statement is extremely weighty for purposes of the proceedings in this House. Therefore, we ought to have gotten from the system logs of all the MAC addresses of the gadgets which access this system from the county assembly. To leave that doubt, to leave that question clear to the minds of everyone. Mr. Speaker, sir, additionally, yesterday there was evidence which was led that some MCAs could not vote using their gadgets, their telephone numbers. Their telephone numbers. Sorry, their mobile phones. So what happened is that the clerk, the speaker asked them to be assisted to vote using a machine, laptop or desktop, but it was a computer. That evidence will be there to be analyzed. The MAC addresses for that system. The ICT officer from the government said that that evidence ought to be in the system. We consistently asked him this question deliberately because we want that question to be fully answered. Where are these MAC addresses? So, Honorable Senators, as you retire to consider this, the question of threshold, just know that there is now doubt more than ever. Experts have come to the Senate and there is doubt from all of them on the existence of these MAC addresses. Instead, Mr. Speaker, sir, and Mr. Speaker, sir, this is really interesting. Instead, they say, especially the expert from government says, that what we have as evidence are the IP addresses. The experts who, including himself, say that for it to be complete, you need to have both the MAC addresses and the IP addresses. The IP addresses is, what did he say, Mr. Speaker, sir, when he was testifying here? He said that the IP addresses are the gateways, the gateway IP addresses. They cannot tell, it tells you who accessed a particular Wi-Fi, which was being used by the MCAs in that area. It does not tell you the MAC addresses of the specific telephones that were used. So that is very, very significant. So to complete that argument and to leave no doubt whatsoever, if you look at volume 4A, volume 4A, and here, Mr. Speaker, allow me to just address a couple of issues on volume 4A. That is at page, the IP addresses which were produced. And the experts say that this is not conclusive. You will need additional information. At page 29, 29, 31, 32, 33, of volume 4A. The Honorable Senator Asige, I don't know whether she's here, probably listening to where she is, asked an extremely important question, Mr. Speaker, sir, which affects the aspect of verifiability. Verifiability. Even on these IP addresses, we have left the issue of the MAC address, of the MAC addresses. Let's look at these IP addresses. I listened to the Honorable Senator Asige asking that question, and I said, maybe that is the real issue that the Senate also need to inquire about. What was the issue? How many Wi-Fi? They say that if you have a gadget and you access the system, you will use a Wi-Fi. That's what they said, Mr. Speaker, sir. Is that right? Yes. They say that then 9 MCAs can have the same IP addresses because they access the same Wi-Fi. Again, that's what they said. I'm not picking this from there. Statements from the word of mouth. So the question is, if you look at these 33 IP addresses at page 29, page 32, page 29, 30, 31, 32. Mr. Speaker, sir, look at these IP addresses. Are these IP addresses the same? Mr. Speaker, sir, there are some which are the same. And this was pointed out. There's an IP address which features really prominently. It appears 9 times. This is 41, 139, 237.129. This IP address appears 9 times. 9 times. The ICT experts who appeared here say that it's also possible to do a geographical search of these IP addresses. But there is no evidence in the Senate that a geographical search of these IP addresses was done on the aspect of verifiability. But this IP address appears 9 times. So what does it mean? That somebody accessed, they accessed a particular Wi-Fi 9 times. But Mr. Speaker, sir, if you look at these logs, you will see that there are many other IP addresses. So the question is, why are these IP addresses different if you are all within the county assembly premises, the house? You are accessing the same Wi-Fi network. And they say that if you access the same Wi-Fi network, then you need to have the same IP address. So the question is, why are these IP addresses different, Mr. Speaker, sir? Is it possible that the Kericho County Assembly has 6 Wi-Fi routers? Because when I counted, I saw. And Mr. Speaker, you can count for yourself the different IP addresses that appear in this document. And that was the query which was raised by the distinguished Honorable Asige. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, we submit that we have a very big problem before this House. The problem is that there is no certainty whatsoever based on the testimony of the 3 expert witnesses on who voted, on who actually voted. There are votes are there, but who actually voted? Instead, Mr. Speaker, sir, the possibility is that somebody may have accessed this publicly available data and voted for anyone else. And that is the information which, that is the evidence that is before the House. And because of time, Mr. Speaker, sir, allow me to then conclude by saying that based on the provisions of Article 10.2 of the Constitution, the system which was deployed by the County Assembly on this vote, Mr. Speaker, sir, on an important matter concerning the removal of a governor from office. That system is not transparent, it is not verifiable, and therefore the results from that system are not verifiable. And on that basis, Mr. Speaker, sir, I urge I urge the honorable senators, Mr. Speaker, sir, that you allow our preliminary objection and throw this issue back for the where it came from, because it does not meet the constitutional threshold as required by Section 33(2) of the County Government Act. I yield the floor to my colleague.
For the record, my name is Katwa Kigen, counsel for the governor. And the nature of my submissions will be more towards the aspects of fact. And Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable senators, we hold the position that the governor has responded to the factual allegations of the claims made by the County Assembly, and that is captured in his affidavit, volume 1, the affidavit in volume 1, page 1 to 31. And the allegations that had been raised by the County Assembly are 9, and all of them have been answered. It relates to management of a program called NAV-CDP, FLOCA, Kasim Tani, Strategic Intervention Projects, Londiani accident, dismissals, subversion of County Assembly activities, and bullying. All those issues we've answered, and we pray that the senators and Mr. Speaker, sir, they be looked at as answer to the allegations. Now, in more particular, I would like to say this. The allegations are in two categories. The first category is old complaints that were brought here before you in September 2024. And the second set are new claims raised by a report made on 5th of August 2025, and attendant to which an impeachment motion was initiated on 6th of August 2025. In respect to the old complaints, which is constituted of these particular three items, the first one is the issue of Kasim Tani. The second one is the issue of Londiani accident. The third one is the issue of private land. Our first attack on that, Mr. Speaker, sir, is that the standing orders of Kericho County prohibited and prohibits the need to consider those allegations. The standing order number 70A subsection 2 is to this effect. Despite paragraph 1, probably I should read from paragraph 1 for context, 70A says this: a motion by any member for the removal of a county governor by impeachment may be reintroduced in the county assembly on the expiry of 90 days from the date of a vote by the Senate. Subsection 2 is to this effect. Despite paragraph 1, a motion for removal of a county governor by impeachment may be reintroduced in the county assembly on other grounds other than the initial grounds that were highlighted in the previous impeachment proceedings. Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable senators, I put a lot of premium and emphasis on the use of the word grounds that were highlighted in the previous impeachment. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is our contention, contrary to what Honorable Rogoñ said when he was testifying, that to the extent to which those grounds were captured in the motion, were moved in the county assembly, were debated in the county assembly, were voted for, and were brought here. To the extent that those things happened, they had fitted into that word of highlighting. And for that reason, Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable senators, it is our submission that indeed it should not be here. However, I would like also to make supplementary comments about those allegations in our defense. I would like to start with the issue of Kasim Tahani. And my learned friends for the county assembly said that the Kasim Tahani was rolled out without proper legislation and that some funds were lost. May I just explain that Kasim Tahani was a concept where the Kericho County Executive proposed that successful bidder contractors were obligated to engage local youths and women so that they would benefit from the contracts that were run in their neighborhoods. And so the payments for the youths and the women was to be paid from the remuneration or the payments due to those contractors. So it's not like it was funds from the county. Absolutely not. It was funds that were payable as part of the contract money. In that situation then, there was no need for any policy, there was no need for any legislation to have been in place. So that's our first answer to that allegation. The second explanation that we have is that indeed in our response both in September 2024 and in this time round, we explained and provided lists of youths and women who are paid on those projects. We are aware that similarly the county assembly, through the committee that purported to investigate, came with a list of youths and women. And our position is that there is nobody owed, and if there is any amount that is owed, they should go to those contractors. But significantly related to that allegation that there are some people who have been deprived of their due payment, it is our contention that the Senate is not the forum for their claim for labor rights. If they had any complaint about their rights for work done, they should have gone to labor court or should have reported to the police or even gone to civil court. And to that extent, therefore, honorable senators and Mr. Speaker, sir, we are contending that the issue of Kassim Mtaani as a ground for impeachment is a red herring. The issue of Londiani accident, we already explained, and I would like to explain again, that it was the committee and the activities of that committee were in the hands of central government. They were not in the hands of the county government. And the person who was chairing those proceedings was the county commissioner. The signatories to the accounts was the county commissioner and members of those committees. And Mr. Speaker, sir, when I asked the question to the witness who came to bring that issue, he admitted that indeed the governor did not sit in that committee, was not a signatory to that, those accounts, and there is nowhere where he is associated to those funds. It is also significant that the witness says that much as these things happened in 2023, they have not deemed it necessary to complain either to EACC or DCI or to any other entity if they were aggrieved about these funds. And so it is our contention that this issue has been brought solely for purposes of injuring the good name of the governor. Two last issues I wish to mention about this Kassim Mtaani issue and Londiani is that they relate to the period, the financial year 2022-2023. And Mr. Speaker, sir, as we pointed out when we asked the questions to the witness who came to testify on this issue, it is true that it is not captured in the Auditor General's reports, so that if it were to be the case that indeed any money was lost or there was any impropriety, our expectation is that it would have been captured. The fact that it is not captured is an indication that indeed these allegations are completely baseless. I would like then to come to the allegations that were brought to the County Assembly on 5th of August 2025. And before I discuss the particulars of our defense in respect to that, I would like again to invite the honorable senators and Mr. Speaker, sir, to the point we made in regard to that issue. The first one we made was that the governor was not given an opportunity to react and act on those reports. And the witness admitted that the reports were made on or around 5th of August 2025, and the motion. Actually, let me correct myself. He said the reports were brought into the Assembly on 5th of August. And those reports provided for a period on average of 28 days within which the governor was to act. However, the next day, before the expiry of the 28 days, and in fact before the expiry of even 1 day, on the 6th of August, the impeachment motion was initiated. And it is our contention that that is an indication of bad faith and political motivation in this impeachment initiative. It is our contention also that if the governor were to be looked at as having failed in his oversight role, he needed to have gotten time to act and to have failed to have acted. Now, discussing the various the various items of that those new allegations relating to NAV, CDP, FLOCA, and strategic infrastructural projects, the allegations of dismissals, we would like to explain that particularly FLOCA and NAV CDP are projects that are foreign funded. They are donor funded projects. Each of those projects have clear budget lines, they have clear work plans, they have cascaded means of ensuring that there is accountability, both even on issues of procurement and audits of works done. And to the extent, therefore, that the works are going on and that subsequent works cannot proceed until the previous one has been audited and accounts provided, to the extent, therefore, that those works are still going on, is an indicator that those projects are in good shape. However, the governor takes the position that if it were to be the case that there is any impropriety, he needs time to look at it and to act on them. But otherwise, he insists that there is no impropriety, and that if there were any improprieties, the donors who are supporting these projects would have raised it. The complainants who have come to you would have even written to the EACC, which they have not done. On the other projects, including the strategic intervention projects, the issues of contract, the issues of procurements, the issue of splitting contracts, the issue of public address, the issue of tents, and the other house renovations, Mr. Speaker, sir, the governor maintains that he needed time to look at it and to act. The fact that the report by the committee came on 5th and he was being impeached on 6th is such that it deprived him of an opportunity to counter-check the allegations contained in those reports and to have acted. But collateral to that, the governor in his affidavit has explained that indeed he has already handed over documents related, or rather he has instructed his people to hand over the documents related to those projects to the EACC for further investigations. And may I say also related to the old cases, that is Kasim Taani and Londiani, the governor has also, the issues are under investigation by EACC. And secondly, through the witnesses, we were able to show that most of the people who were involved in those activities, in those projects, have been either subjected to disciplinary proceedings and some have been required to retire. And for those reasons, Mr. Speaker, sir, it is our contention that there is no nexus whatsoever between any improprieties related to funds, procurements, and the other allegations raised between the governor and those situations. I would like to address this issue of the private property the same way we did when we raised it at the outset. The property that is being referred to is not private property, it is public property. And governor insists that it is private property and is determined to recover it. There is the contention and purport that there is a court determination saying that that is a private property. As we pointed out, and consequent to our pointing out, the county assembly has shied away from showing you the judgment. The decision that was made by the court was that the ground should not be used as a dumping ground until a NEMA certification is obtained. There is nowhere where it is said that it is private property. And even if the county assembly, in its totality, were to try to team up with this person who is trying to grab public property and use impeachment as a threat to the governor to cede the quest to recover the land, the governor is determined to recover the public land. Now, I would like then to answer a few questions that have been raised, especially in the course of the submissions today. The first one is the issue that my learned friend, Mr. Angoya, has extensively referred to, the issues of the joint affidavits, one by both Martin and Edna, and the other one by the 18 MCS. And Mr. Speaker, sir, I had earlier on taken the position that it is proper to have signed a joint affidavit. However, even if it were to be the case that there is any impropriety or any compromise of the impact of those affidavits by reason of joint signing, it is our position that each of those witnesses came here, took an oath, and testified. That is good enough to supplement any shortcomings in those affidavits, and that their testimony is solid to the extent to which they took oath and testified here. The allegations of negative comments made in reference to Geoffrey Bate are denied, and in the course of the testimony of Mr. Geoffrey Bate, he agreed that he has not taken any action if he was aggrieved. He has not complained to the Public Service Board, who are his employers. He has not reported to any police station. He has not reported to any labor court. He has not reported to any civil court. He has not taken out any constitutional action. And therefore, it is our position that it is not true. And if it were true, he would have taken action. And as honorable senators may have seen, he clearly was strongly willed. And if indeed it was true that these allegations were true, then he would have already made a complaint. The other argument that has been made by my learned colleagues for the county assembly is that by reason of not calling these witnesses, the governor is shielding them. As we have explained, in respect to the old cases, Kasim Tani, Londiani, and the others, the governor has taken action. In respect to these complaints that arose on 5th of August, attendant to which he was process of impeachment started on 6th of August, he needs time to look at them, and he couldn't rush into. It can't be said that he's shielding them because he needs time to have looked at it and determined if there is any issues and deal with them. And then my learned friend, Mr. Ongoya, made a very funny comment saying that there is a certain impropriety in the governor meeting the MCS. It is our position that there is absolutely no impropriety in the possibility of leaders meeting. And there is the contention, therefore, that the governor met some MCS is completely misplaced. Now, I would like to say a few more things before I go to the next step. The first one is to say, Mr. Speaker, sir, on our preliminary objection, that there is unanimity on all the three experts on the two most material issues. The first one is that they are all unanimous that they cannot confirm whether the three MCS voted. They cannot confirm that. Now, when you juxtapose that with the affidavit of the developer of the software, Mr. Alfred Korir, at page 23, at paragraph 23, where he says it is simple, accurate, verifiable, particularly emphasis on the use of the words verifiable, secure, and accurate. To the extent, therefore, that he intended this system to be verifiable and accurate, to the extent that we cannot determine who the three MCS, whether or not the three MCS voted, to the extent that we cannot do that, it is true then that this paragraph is bailed out. It is not true that that system was verifiable. The second thing that they are all agreed on the other thing that the witness agreed on is that indeed the records of the county assembly contain details of the payroll and ID numbers for the various MCS, and that if somebody was determined to get them, especially within the establishment of the county assembly, they could get them. With us, in that context, therefore, it is our contention that indeed it was possible for somebody else to vote, and that the three experts admit that if you get those credentials, you could vote. So that there are those two admissions, Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable senators. Number one, that with the credentials, anybody could have voted for those MCS. And number two, that they are not able to trace back those three votes to the three MCS. Now, the last thing I wish to say, as I spare a few minutes for my client, is that we would like, honorable senators and Mr. Speaker, sir, that you take on board these as you consider the propriety of that system that was used to vote. Number one, we pointed out in the course of testimony that indeed the answer has been edited. It has been edited so that it is not consistent with the audio recording of the events. Number two, it is true that a few minutes before the movement of the motion on 6th of August, by the mover of motion, who, as we cross-examined him, we maintain is in collusion with the Speaker, 6 MCAs, there was an attempt to remove 6 MCAs with a view to reducing the numbers or otherwise to intimidate them to support the impeachment of the governor. Number 3 is the question that indeed there was an option to do a roll call voting. Nobody, not even my learned colleagues for the county assembly, have explained why they could not just take a straight and simple process that could have resolved the issue. And for all those reasons, and then the rush to set up this thing at night and to insist on using it, even when the nays, I'd say, were louder than the ayes. For all those reasons, Mr. Speaker, sir, and honorable senators, we pray as a first line of our prayers that you do find that the system was not adequate to satisfy you that any voting took place and that the 2/3 threshold was met. As a second line, we pray that you do find that indeed no evidence and no material and no grounds have been adduced adequate to place a requirement on you to impeach the governor. With that said, Mr. Speaker, sir, I have 4 more minutes. I would like to request my client to just say a few minutes within that time limit.
Mr. Speaker, sir, and the honorable senators of this great house, the upper house, I stand again before you this evening, even as we make our final submission, that first of all, I'm grateful for the time the senators have sat for these 3 days and under your leadership, and to also indicate that as my lead counsel have indicated, we have made our submissions on the circumstances that has been laid on me. Mr. Speaker, the report, as I said in my earlier remarks, came to me at the 5th, and it was sent to my offices. I received it on 6th, addressed to the clerk, addressed to the county secretary, and marked to the Public Service Board, another address to me. It's on that same very day that the impeachment motion was tabled. It was then very difficult for me to have sat at that time to analyze the reports and be able to make implementation. I wish to state here, Mr. Speaker, sir, that as we ponder over this matter, during this period of impeachment right from the Assembly to where we are today, the EACC and the DCIE wrote to the county government of Kericho requesting documents for the same issues that has been mentioned. As a governor, I instructed the officers responsible, the county secretary, to submit the documents to the respective investigating agencies for action. I wish to commit before you, Mr. Speaker. I know how weighty the matters are before us. Mr. Speaker, I wish to submit before you and the senators that given a chance again, I'll be able to implement the reports in totality and also be able to implement what the investigative agencies such as the DCI and the EACC will recommend for us to act upon. We further commit, Mr. Speaker, sir, that where there is elements of culpabilities, not only for now but even in the future on the state officers, it is my commitment that as we take leadership of Kericho to a step higher and notch, that we will do whatever possible to protect the resources of our people. Lastly, Mr. Speaker, sir, and the honorable senators, as an individual, I know that I do not claim perfection. I have flaws just like any other human being. My 2 years journey in political leadership has been learning of lessons. And when I look around the political environment that we have been, I pray to this Senate that should I get a chance from this great house, I would also set upon myself to be able to reach out to the entire leadership of Kericho County, especially the MCS and their speaker and also the deputy governor, and be able to strike a working relationship with them, of course, together with the senator of Kericho County and the members of parliament from the county government of Kericho, and be able to strike a working relationship with them so that, Mr. Speaker, it allows us, because this is the second last financial year before really the end of this 5-year cycle, to allow us to be able to deliver for the people of Kericho County. We have had our triumphs, we have had also our challenges, just like any other leadership and any flaws. And Mr. Speaker, I rise to, as I conclude, to speak to the great churches here and the senators here that have been listening to this case, that as you have listened and the evidence adduced to you, that the processes has been tabled to you, showing how flawed it was. But however, I offer myself that out of this, we will be able to step up the leadership of Kericho County and people again to work together with a great energy and strike a reconciliatory tone so that we are able to deliver for the mandate of our people. I wish to thank the honorable senators for the opportunity you have given us and the time you have given to listen to us. I know it's been a challenging time. It's also been trying for me, psychologically torturing, and it's been one of my lowest moments to be here in this Senate again for the second time. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I pray that the senators will find a place in their hearts to look into the matters that we have raised and give us a chance again to work for the great people of Kericho County. Asanteni sana, and may God bless all of us. Asante sana.
Now, honorable senators, ladies and gentlemen, having concluded the closing statements by the parties, the Senate will proceed into a camera session for 15 minutes, pursuant to Rule 27 of the Rules of Procedure. That is for the hearing and determination on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Dr. Erick Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County. The objective of the in-camera session is to ensure that the process is concluded seamlessly, timeously, and in line with the requirements set out under the Constitution and the County Government Act and the Senate Standing Orders. Now, honorable senators, during this session, the parties, all members of public and the media will be expected to withdraw from the chamber and the galleries, and any form of broadcasting from the chamber shall cease forthwith. Consequently, I now direct the parties, all members of the public and media, to withdraw from the chamber and the galleries, and that any form of broadcast from the chamber to cease forthwith. It is now 9:35. We will resume open session at exactly 9:50. Thank you.
You have portrayed yourself as an extremely honest person who cannot lie under oath or after lifting the Bible, correct?
Yes.
You have repeated that.
I am not a liar.
You are not a liar, correct?
I am not a liar.
You are not a liar.
Yes.
Should we then, in the course of these investigations, find that you are a liar, what should this house do to you?
Keep master. You can give it evidence. Which
I am asking a question. What should this house do to you if, in the course of these investigations, it is found out that indeed you have lied under oath and after lifting the Bible? What should we do?
I am saying something which I am sure I am not saying. Maybe unless I was dreaming.
There are two issues then that would arise if we find that you are a liar. One is that your evidence will be thrown out. Number two, you risk being charged with an offense called perjury. Are you willing to take that responsibility?
What? You just repeat.
I'm telling you this, okay? Should we find out that you have lied under oath and after lifting the Bible, there are two consequences. One is that your evidence will be thrown out because it is not credible, and number two, you risk facing criminal charges for lying under oath. Are you ready to take that responsibility before I ask you those questions? Are you ready or not?
Why? If I'm sure I'm never make a mistake, I am ready to answer.
Thank you. I'm also informed that you are fondly referred to as Trump, correct?
Huh?
You are referred to as Trump.
Yes.
Your nickname is Trump, correct?
My name is, political name is Trump.
Your political name is Trump?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now, there is an affidavit you have sworn that is contained at page 113 of volume 1 of the governor's documents. (121), 113, page 113. You confirm that that is your affidavit? You're among the people who saw that affidavit, correct?
I'm among them.
You're among them?
Yes.
And you have confirmed that that affidavit was sworn before a lawyer called Brian Kiprotich Langat, correct?
Yes.
My simple question is, what time of the day was this affidavit sworn?
The date of affidavit.
Yes.
So it was 15.
That, I'm asking about the time. The affidavit sworn by 18 people. What time of the day was it sworn?
I've forgotten the time, but we met on 15th.
What time? You can tell us. You can approximate.
I've just forgotten the time, but I make it on 15th.
You can surely remember morning, afternoon. What time? You went to an office, correct?
I went to an office.
What time did you go to that office to swear that affidavit? You are a man of extreme honesty.
Time is only, I've forgotten the time, but it was on 15.
Okay, which period of the day?
Huh?
Which period of the day?
15 it was Friday.
I'm not asking about the day. I'm asking about the time. You're a very honest person, surely. These are events that you recall vividly, because
Yes.
they're very personal to you.
Yes.
What time of the day did you go to swear this affidavit?
I've forgotten that one. Otherwise, I'm saying something which is true.
You do not want to answer. You do not want to answer. Time is not a complicated issue, surely. You remember everything about the events of this day.
Yes.
And I'm asking you, what time of the day did you go to vote, to sign this affidavit? Is it during the day or during the night? During the day or during the night? During the day or during the night?
After lunch.
After lunch?
Yes.
Afternoon hours?
After 2 hours.
Thank you.
So it was almost night.
Thank you. A very honest person.
Yes.
After lunch, you went to swear this affidavit. What time were the proceedings terminated at the county assembly?
Proceeding.
What time did you finish the impeachment motion?
The time, it was almost, we started 6:30.
So you finished at around 8 p.m.
Around 8 p.m. to 8:30.
But you went somehow to swear this affidavit after lunch, on the same day, 15th of August, 2025. Mr. Honest.
That is why I was telling you, time was...
That's why you wanted to avoid answering this question.
Mm-hmm. Continue.
You wanted this Senate to bank on your credibility as a mature person and a Christian, someone who cannot lie on oath. That is your first lie. Remember the consequences, Mr. Trump?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the second one. You have also confirmed that 18 of you did not vote. Correct?
Yes.
And that 18 of you even protested before the motion was debated, correct?
All of us stood up.
And counsel for the governor, Mr. Katwa Kigen, my senior, made that declaration in the floor of the House, correct?
Yes, he made it.
Counsel Katwa Kigen was not your lawyer. He was the lawyer representing the governor, correct?
Yes.
How would Katwa Kigen know that there were 18 people who are not going to support this motion? And
he was in.
How would he know that you are not going to support this motion?
He was in when the discussion was.
Oh, he was part of the discussion?
No, he was in on behalf of the governor.
On behalf of the governor?
Yes.
Had you met the governor and his lawyer before you went to chambers to discuss your position and promised him that you would not vote for this motion?
On that day, it was a special sitting when we were discussing.
That's not my question, Mr. Witness,
yes.
Mr. Honest. Had you met the governor and his lawyer and pledged your loyalty and promised him that you would not support the impeachment motion before you went to the House?
First of all, we were asking which way can we
You're
vote?
not answering my question. Had you met the governor and his lawyer before you went to the assembly and promised him that you would not vote for it, and therefore the lawyer was confident that he had 18 people? My question is, had you met the governor or the lawyer in advance?
Yes, he was aware that we were.
You had met him?
Yes, we were not voting.
Oh, and you pledged your loyalty?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I believe that statement. That's a very honest statement by you. Mr. Witness, I've also looked at your affidavit, okay? First, also confirm. I'm looking at your affidavit at page at page 125. Volume 1. Volume 1 of the governor's response. That is your affidavit at page 125, correct? Correct?
Yes.
I need to hear you confirm. Is that your affidavit?
Yes.
That is your affidavit. And you confirm that the contents of this affidavit are true and correct, right?
It is true because I'm the one saying.
You're the one saying.
Yes.
The contents are correct, right? Every part of it.
Every part of it is true.
So should we find again that you have lied under oath, are you still ready to bear the consequences? You already have one consequence to bear. Do you still wish to bear the consequences of lying under oath? I want to ask you specifically.
Counsel, he had answered that question. You have to advance to the next question.
Thank you. Mr. Trump, you have alluded at paragraph 10 at page 127. All right?
The only mistake which
No, I have not asked you a question. Yes. You have alluded at paragraph 10, page 127, that your phone does not have internet. Is that still your statement? My phone is not internet enabled. It is not GPS enabled.
Yes, no internet.
You have gone ahead at page 138 to attach a Mulikamwizi, confirming that this is your phone that is not internet enabled. Do you still want to confirm?
Yes, I have it here.
Or you have it right there?
Yes, this one.
Thank you. That is the only phone you have.
Another
That
phone,
is the only phone you have.
Another phone.
I have not asked you. I'm asking you, is that the only phone you have?
I have two, but my PA is using for operating the work in my ward.
Oh, your PA.
I have another big one.
You have another one.
But my secretary and
But
PA
here,
are using.
in your affidavit, you confirm that your phone is not internet enabled.
This one.
Are you saying that you have another phone that is internet enabled?
Another one, I say, the most which I'm using is this one. Even in payroll,
Thank you.
Payroll is using
Thank you.
this one.
That's okay.
Even the message I was given.
That's okay, Mr.
One.
Trump. You might be having too many numbers,
Yes.
too many phones, okay?
Yes.
But you have one number, correct?
Yes.
Your main number is one. Your personal number is one.
I have two, especially my PA are using to in Crown when I'm working in.
What is the number in the phone that you are holding? Your phone number?
0720.
0720-382136, correct?
Yeah, even this one is for payroll.
No. I have not asked you a question. Your number is 0720-382136, correct?
It is correct.
And that is the number that is not internet enabled that you're using.
It is not internet.
It is not internet.
Yes.
Just doing a very simple exercise here. I took time to log into this now, to save this number. Mr. Trump, this is a WhatsApp of you with this same number. Confirm whether this is your image. If it is not, just say, that's not my WhatsApp number. Is that your image, your profile picture?
This is my picture.
Okay. Can an internet not enabled phone be registered on WhatsApp?
The most.
Answer the question. If your phone is not internet enabled, can you be registered on WhatsApp?
What I've said.
It's a yes or no.
I have two.
I
have two numbers.
Counsel, can you allow him to answer?
I have two numbers.
You have two numbers.
0111 40398. This one is operating in WhatsApp and Facebook. And those who are using is my PA and secretary. Registered.
Did you state that under oath, that you have other phones that
I have
are
another
internet?
phone. I have 2 phones.
Kindly read. Let me read for you. I do not want to take you through the trouble. I wish to also explain, paragraph 10. My phone is not internet enabled. It is not GPRS enabled. Could therefore neither receive the link nor vote, hence I did not. My telephone handset, which I have always had and which is in public domain, is Tecno T528. I have annexed a screenshot of my phone, make and model.
I don't want to speak lie.
There is always a line that is in a phone. You cannot use a phone without a line, correct?
There is.
Can you use a phone without a mobile line?
The two phones, one is operating Facebook and WhatsApp.
WhatsApp is the number linked service. The number that I have just shown you is the phone you are holding, your line that you are holding, which is on WhatsApp. I put it to you before you walked into these chambers, Mr. Honest.
Yes.
You changed your number from your smartphone to the Mulikamwizi with the aim of hoodwinking the senators. What would you say?
I'm ready to speak the truth.
Why is that still number on WhatsApp? Why is that same number on WhatsApp?
It is not this one. It is not this one.
I'm
repeating, it is not this one.
Mr. Witness, look at page 21 of volume 6A of the County Assembly's document. There is a screenshot of your WhatsApp that has been extracted from 3 WhatsApp groups that you are in the County Assembly of Kericho. Are you in any WhatsApp group in Kericho County Assembly? Are you in any of the 3? Are you in any of the groups?
Yes.
Oh, you are in groups, WhatsApp groups, with a phone that is not internet enabled.
I'm included the group of the members of the assembly.
Thank you. Mr. Biril, I put it to you that in this country, we have dishonest people, then we have liars, and then we have you. What would you say?
What I'm telling you, I'm saying the truth. This phone is not working for the internet. And if you want to prove, this is the phone which I was given the message, which they say I vote. Yes.
My last question, Mr. Biril, is that you have lied on oath in an affidavit. You have also lied on oath after raising the Bible before the senators. Why would these senators believe you when you say that you did not vote on that fateful day?
I never vote. Still, I am saying the truth. I never vote.
That is all for this witness.
If you want to repeat the Bible, I can repeat. I never vote. That is why I was requesting Honorable Speaker to give me a chance to advise young people not to use lies.
Thank you, thank you.
Anita, have you sworn an individual affidavit before the Senate?
No.
You have told this Senate that you expected the system to register your abstinence, your abstained vote. True?
Yes.
Which system?
The electronic voting system.
Did you log into it?
We didn't have
Did
a
you,
gadget.
Anita, log into it?
But log in where?
My apologies. Anita, did you log into the system?
We didn't have a system to log in.
Did you log into the link that was given to you?
I didn't have an option of logging in.
Mr. Speaker, may I have my question answered? I have 1 minute to finish this witness.
Yes, witness, just answer the question.
Did you log into the system?
I didn't have a system to log in.
I'm asking whether in fact you logged into it, whatever the circumstances.
But where?
Mr. Speaker, may I have my question answered? This is now becoming disturbing.
Witness, once again, You are now bordering to becoming a hostile witness.
Take that as a warning.
The question the way you asked, just yes or no. Don't ask the council questions.
Anita, did you in fact log into the system?
No,
Did you press the abstain button?
I didn't have a button to press.
Did you press an abstain button?
No.
Nevertheless, you expected that system to register your abstained vote.
But which system?
Nevertheless, you expected that system to register your abstained vote.
But which system?
Mr. Speaker, may I once again have my question answered, whether that was expectation?
Madam Witness, can you answer those questions looking at me? Maybe when you look at him, you are becoming a bit... look at this side and answer the questions.
Thank you. Notwithstanding that you didn't press the abstained button, you nevertheless expected the system to register your abstained vote. Is that a correct position?
Come up again?
Notwithstanding that you didn't press the abstain option in the system, you expected to register your abstain vote.
I didn't have a gadget to press the abstain button.
Did you have your phone in the chamber?
I had my phone until 1 p.m. when my phone went off power.
Did you have your phone in the chamber?
It was somewhere, but
Did you
without
have
power.
your phone in the chamber?
I think so.
Did you, in fact, have your phone in the chamber, Anita?
I had my phone until it went off and I took it off.
So you had your phone in the chamber?
For about 3 hours.
So, in fact, you had your phone in the chamber, as a matter of fact?
For about 3 hours.
What's the answer to that question, Mr. Speaker, on whether, in fact, she had my phone? I can't get the answer to that question. And I think the witness is now bordering on rudeness now, not just being hostile. I've been very polite to all witnesses in this assembly because it's my professional duty to be. But they have no corresponding right to be rude to me. I'm a professional discharging my professional duty. I deserve respect. She is disrespectful.
Council, you know you have no mandate to judge. It's me, that's my work. So
Yes.
mine is only to request that to answer your questions. Don't make the judgment. That is the work of the chair.
Yes,
I've been
Mr. Speaker.
pleading with that to answer your questions directly.
Yes, I was making a submission, inviting you to make that a judgment, Mr. Speaker.
No.
You are
Honorable
provoking me.
Senators, as you may have noted, in the course of this hearing, an important question has arisen as to whether the threshold of 32 votes needed for the impeachment of a county governor was made pursuant to Section 33 of the County Governments Act and Standing Order 74 of the Kericho County Assembly Standing Orders. Honorable Senators recall that arising Senator Joyce Korir, the chair must be heard in silence. Honorable Senators recall that arising from an application by counsel for the governor to be allowed to call the expert evidence of Mr. Job Okun Oguya, whom they claim to be an information IT expert, and the ruling thereon, I further directed that the office of the clerk do engage the ICT authority and secure an expert who will provide independent advice on the Kericho County Assembly electronic voting system and submit a report that answers the following questions. Did an electronic voting process take place? Is the number of MCAs who voted on impeachment of the governor verifiable? Was it possible for an MCA or any other person who had a link to vote on the motion on behalf of an MCA or another MCA? How many MCAs voted in the affirmative on the motion to impeach the governor? And is there any evidence of multiple voting or other compromise of the voting system and or any other impropriety in the voting system or process? This report was prepared, Senator Boney. This system was prepared and submitted in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on Thursday, 28th of August, 2025 at 9:35 p.m. and circulated to all honorable senators and to the parties during this morning's sitting. Now, honorable senators, as you may recall, in my communication issued on Wednesday, the 27th of August, 2025, I ruled that the preliminary objection be subsumed in the main hearing of the impeachment proceedings, as it was premature and could only properly be addressed once the Senate had heard and weighed the evidence before making any final decision on the impeachment charges. I further ruled that at the conclusion of the impeachment proceedings, but before voting on the charges, the Senate will pronounce its finding on whether the constitutional threshold of 2/3 of members of the County Assembly had been met. Honorable Senators, having considered the evidence adduced before the Senate by the parties and the report of the County Assembly of Kericho Chamber electronic voting system submitted by the IT Authority of Kenya, the Senate Majority Leader will give notice and move a motion on the ascertainment of the threshold required for the impeachment of Honorable Dr. Erick Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County. In the event that the Senate finds that the 2/3 threshold of 32 members of County Assembly was not met, then the impeachment proceedings shall immediately terminate, and the Senate shall not proceed to determine the impeachment charges. If, however, the Senate finds that the 2/3 threshold of 32 members of the County Assembly was met, then the Senate shall proceed to determine if the impeachment charges have been substantiated by voting thereon. I thank you. Next order.
Order number 2, hearing and determination on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Dr. Erick Mutai, Governor of Kericho County. Order number 3, notices of motion.
The Senate Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to give notice of 2 motions. The first motion is for the ascertainment of the threshold required for the impeachment of Honorable Dr. Erick Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County. That aware that pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Government Act, on Friday, 15th August 2025, the County Assembly of Kericho approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Dr. Erick Kipkoech Mutai, Governor of Kericho County, and noting that by a letter referenced KCA/SP/3 Volume 1/39, dated Friday, 15th August 2025, and received in the office of the Speaker of the Senate on Monday, 18th August 2025, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kericho informed the Speaker of the Senate of the removal of the approval of the motion by the County Assembly, and further forwarded the Speaker to the Speaker of the Senate documents in evidence of the proceedings of the Assembly, including a list of 33 out of 47 members of the County Assembly that voted in favor of the removal from office by impeachment of Dr. Erick Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County. Further noting that in the course of the hearing, an important question arose on whether the threshold of 32 votes needed for impeachment of a governor, as accompanied in Section 33 of the County Governments Act and Standing Order number 74 of the County Assembly of Kericho, was made, and considering the evidence adduced before the Senate by the parties on the issue, and further considering the report on the County Assembly of Kericho Chamber electronic voting system submitted by ICT experts on the invitation of the Senate, now therefore, the Senate resolves that the threshold required for removal of a governor from office by impeachment, contemplated in Section 33 of the County Government Act and Standing Order number 74 of the County Assembly of Kericho, was made. End of motion 1. Motion 2, Mr. Speaker, sir. I give notice to the hearing and determination on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Dr. Erick Kipkoech Mutai, the governor of Kericho County. That whereas pursuant to Article number 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Governments Act, on Friday, 15th August 2025, the County Assembly of Kericho approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Dr. Erick Kipkoech Mutai, the governor of Kericho County. Further, whereas by letter referenced number KCA/SP/3 volume 1/39 dated Friday 15th August 2025 and received in the office of the Speaker on Monday 18th August 2025, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kericho informed the Speaker of the Senate of the approval of a motion by the County Assembly and further forwarded to the Speaker of the Senate documents in evidence of the proceedings of the Assembly. Further, whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Governments Act and Standing Order number 80 of the Senate heard the County Assembly on the grounds for the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Dr. Erick Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County, and further, whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Governments Act, and Standing Order number 80 of the Senate also heard the Honorable Dr. Erick Kipkoech Mutai on the grounds for his removal from office by impeachment as the Governor of Kericho. Now therefore, pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Governments Act, and Standing Order number 80 of the Senate now resolves to remove from office by impeachment the Honorable Dr. Erick Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho, on the following grounds. Charge 1, gross violation of the Constitution and other laws. Charge 2, abuse of office. And charge 3, gross misconduct. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 4, motion, ascertainment of the threshold required for the impeachment of Honorable Dr. Erick Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County.
Senate Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the House will bear with me. Before I start, I must introduce the motion. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise to move the following motion. Being the ascertainment of the threshold required for the impeachment of the Honorable Dr. Erick Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County. That aware that pursuant to Standing Order to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Governments Act, on Friday, 15th August 2025, the County Assembly of Kericho approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Dr. Erick Kipkoech Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County, and noting that by letter reference number KCA/SP/3 volume 1/39 dated Friday 15th August 2025 and received in the office of the Speaker of the Senate on Monday 18th August 2025, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kericho informed the Speaker of the Senate of the approval of the motion by the Assembly and further forwarded to the Speaker of the Senate documents in evidence of the proceedings of the Assembly, including the list of 33 out of 47 members of the County Assembly that voted in favor of the removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Dr. Erick Mutai, the Governor of Kericho. Further, noting that in the course of hearing, an important question arose on whether the threshold of 32 votes needed for impeachment of a governor, as contemplated in Section 33 of the County Governments Act and Standing Order Number 74 of the County Assembly of Kericho, was made, considering the evidence adduced before the Senate by the parties on the issues, and further, considering the report on the County Assembly of Kericho Chamber electronic voting system submitted by the ICT experts on the invitation of the Senate. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that the threshold required for removal of the governor from office by impeachment, contemplated in Section 33 of the County Governments Act and Standing Order Number 74 of the County Assembly of Kericho, was made. Mr. Speaker, this is a preliminary objection. And Mr. Speaker, as you pointed out earlier, should we find that the threshold required was made, that would be the end of business this evening. If it was, Mr. Speaker, if the threshold of 32 was not met, if it was not met, then that would be the end of business this evening. Otherwise, we will proceed to the next motion. Mr. Speaker, it is very interesting that 2 days ago, we celebrated 15 years after the promulgation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Mr. Speaker, fortuitously, this debate is taking place at a time when in public domain there are people who think that men and women of this House do not have their own minds, do not have the capacity to make a decision on such a huge thing. So to me, this is a God-given opportunity. Let us do a good job so that we bring to shame those people who have no respect for other people who sit in offices other than the offices they themselves sit in. Mr. Speaker, just like you maybe, I have been helpless from the beginning up to the end of the hearing of the evidence on the PO. We have been thrown from one position to the other by this witness or that other witness. Members, you have seen witnesses from both parties flip and flop. You have seen, Mr. Speaker, others outrightly lying on oath. Mr. Speaker, you have even seen others contradicting themselves, those witnesses. And what's more, you have had, for the first time in our history in this parliament, you've seen a witness by the name of Edna rescind her signed affidavit. Mr. Speaker, in some cases, and there were many, in excess of 16, we saw witnesses here who had no sworn affidavit. They were speaking to a collective so-called affidavit. Mr. Speaker, because of the president of the senior counsel, Omugeni, and many other eminent lawyers, including Justice Madayo, we know that we were at pains to find out how we would cross-examine and how we would seek further clarity from these people who swore, these witnesses who swore on a collective affidavit. Mark you, the affidavit were being sworn in respect of electronic voting. If they were being sworn collectively, in the case of voice vote, then maybe you would say, in voice vote, we vote as a group. But electronic voting is an individual responsibility. So any witness coming here wanting to give us an affidavit on how they voted or didn't vote electronically, it had to be in the single person. It could not have been collective. Mr. Speaker, we have seen something unprecedented. A lawyer to this trial telling the House and on camera that he voted in Kericho. I've never seen it. And I'm sure the legal fraternity and you, the learned friends, you must be waiting what this House will decide about a lawyer who purports to vote in a county assembly process, something which was then controverted by the expert who said that there was no evidence whatsoever that this lawyer voted in Kericho. What's more, you have seen impunity where not just a lawyer, but a senior counsel go and assume the role of a speaker in the county assembly of Kericho and calls for members of the county assembly to abide by his request. They stand. What is more, Mr. Speaker, the same council has tried to mislead this House by saying that there was interference with the voting logs. The expert who came confirmed that such an interference was not there. This is a good opportunity for us to speak to all respective professions, be it the legal profession, architectural, whatever, that people must live within the oath of office that you take when you qualify from a particular discipline. Mr. Speaker, I'll keep it short by saying the following as my last request. That we are lucky. I don't know whether it was the wisdom of the Speaker or the wisdom of the leader of the majority with the Speaker and the leader of the minority with the Speaker and others, when the House made a decision, as communicated by the Speaker, that this House must call for an expert, independent IT. Can you imagine where it would have been? When the first expert came, this expert was from the county assembly. He carried most of us along. But when the lawyers descended on him, we became confused. We didn't know whether to believe him or not. Subsequently, when the team of the governor then brought its own version of an expert, it was a bigger disaster. In fact, it is the senator of Narok who captured it. He said that his affidavit was more about a collection of his credentials. And when I looked at the credentials, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished senators, it was nothing impressive. The only serious credential there was bachelor in computer science. Otherwise, the other things were diploma here, the other things, some course training there, nothing that is, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, sir, you'll have your time, my brother. You'll have your
Senator
time.
Boni, proceed and conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, sir, when I looked at those two experts and read and understood what the legal expert, not legal, the IT expert from the governor's side was telling us, he did not speak to the voting in Kericho. He started telling us the standard things that you can cut and paste when you want to increase your knowledge about these things where a majority of us are strangers. I want therefore to thank you for bringing Mr. Lubuga, the expert who came from the authority. It is only Lubuga who clearly demonstrated to us, those of us who are lay, that voting took place electronically, who demonstrated to us, Mr. Speaker, that 33 MCS voted in Kericho, who confirmed to us that although the system could be better, but as of the time of voting, it was credible, who confirmed to us, Mr. Speaker, that no one MCA would be able to vote for the other one. I therefore conclude, Mr. Speaker, by proposing that, honorable members, let us give the people of Kericho an opportunity to hear your views on what you thought about the allegations against the governor. They want to know, because I know you are not biased. And the only way you can give them that opportunity to hear what the Senate has to say about how Dr. Kip Koech has been working in office is by allowing this PO to fall, because 33 elected leaders in Kericho found through voting electronically that the governor had a case to answer before us. I move and request that the distinguished senator from Narok, the Honorable Olekina, seconds my motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second this motion that this House finds that the threshold required by the Constitution for impeaching a governor has been met. Mr. Speaker, I'll be brief to the point. I will try not to be sensational, but factual. There are times for being sensational, but there are times for being factual. Mr. Speaker, with me here, I hold two audit reports of a system. One audit report is allegedly an expert who have been presented by the county governor of Kericho, who 30 pages out of 37 pages, 39 pages is mere credentials of an IT expert, not really taking us to the issues of whether the threshold was met. The Constitution of Kenya in Article 182 requires that 2/3 is met. And in Kericho County, there are 47 members of the County Assembly, which means this Senate has determined that the threshold is 32. That was an issue that we debated. Others think it's 31. But in this case, the ICT Authority of Kenya determined that according to the evidence presented, 33 members of the County Assembly voted to impeach the county governor of Kericho. Mr. Speaker, all of us here are litigant, one way or the other. I have never, in my history of litigation and going to court,
sworn and a joint affidavit with my co-witness. In fact, when I first saw that affidavit, I said this affidavit is defective, because an affidavit is deponed by one individual person under oath that what they are about to say is something that they can be able to stand with. When I looked at the affidavit that was sworn by allegedly 18, I'm told one bolted out and presented a different affidavit. It was very difficult for me to determine who is taking responsibility on what. It was so difficult even for the two counsel to be able to cross-examine those witnesses. Because one of them said that I signed the affidavit at 1 p.m. after lunch, yet we have been shown evidence clearly that the proceedings proceeded all the way past 9 p.m. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't want to belabor the point. The issue is very clear. When it comes to voting in this House, Mr. Speaker, we have three choices of voting. You either vote to the affirmative and say yes, or you vote no, or you abstain. There was a huge argument about those ones who alleged that they abstained. It is impractical, Mr. Speaker, when a voting is being carried out electronically, for you to stand in the middle of a hall and say, I abstain. Unless you press a button and you say, I have abstained, and your record and your vote is indicated there, it will be difficult for the results to be printed out with your voice having absented. So, Mr. Speaker, I do not want to proceed further. I want to urge this Senate to recognize the ICT Authority audit and their findings and their conclusions and proceed accordingly with the impeachment hearing so that we can be able to delve into other matters that requires this Senate to call these governors to account for the resources that we sent to the county governments. Mr. Speaker, I beg to second.
Honorable Senators, I will now propose the questions. Order, Senator Fomeru. Order. That aware that pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Governments Act, on Friday, 15th of August 2025, the County Assembly of Kericho approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of the Honorable Dr. Erick Mutai, Governor of Kericho County. Noting that by a letter reference number KCA/SP/3 Volume 1 into brackets 39, dated Friday, 15th of August 2025, and received in the office of the Speaker of the Senate on Monday, 18th August 2025, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kericho informed the Speaker of the Senate of the approval of the motion by the County Assembly, and further forwarded to the Speaker of the Senate documents in evidence of the proceedings of the Assembly, including the list of 33 out of 47 members of the County Assembly that voted in favor of the removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Dr. Erick Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County. Further, noting that in the course of the hearing, an important question arose on whether the threshold of 32 votes needed for the impeachment of a governor as contemplated in Section 33 of the County Government Act and Standing Order 74 of the County Assembly of Kericho was met. Considering the evidence adduced before the Senate by the parties on the issue, and further, considering the report of the County Assembly of Kericho Chamber electronic voting system submitted by the ICT experts on the invitation of the Senate, now therefore, the Senate resolves that the threshold required for removal of a governor from office by impeachment contemplated in Section 33 of the County Governments Act and Standing Order 74 of the County Assembly of Kericho was met. Now, Honorable Senators, the floor is open for debate. But again, going to the agreement that that was negotiated between the two sides. We'll have 4 members speak from the minority side and 4 members speak from the majority side, each speaking for more than 4 minutes. Not more than 4 minutes. You need not utilize the 4. I will start with Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I will restrict myself to IT issues. Mr. Speaker, you made a decision that this House hires an IT expert so that we can be guided on the issue of the IT system that was deployed for voting. And that would give us a pointer as to whether the threshold was met or not. Mr. Speaker, I have gone through the report by the expert, and allow me to point out the inconsistencies that I've seen in the report. Mr. Speaker, this report is basically a production of the extracts from volume 4A of the county assembly bundles. If you look at the logs, it's the same. If you look at the list of users of the system, it's the same. But there are only 2 things that have been included. And this is contained on page 13, where the expert attempted to do an IP lookup for that IP address that had been used 9 times. And in the lookup, Mr. Speaker, the lookup is supposed to tell you the physical location of a device, in this case on the internet. The physical location of this device is Kericho, but there are inconsistencies, Mr. Speaker. The inconsistency here indicates that the city is Letain town. Mr. Speaker, we all know that the county assembly of Kericho is in Kericho town, if I'm not wrong. But this lookup brings Letain town. I have a problem with that. Mr. Speaker, I've taken the trouble to do the IP lookup for all the other IP addresses that have been provided on page 29 of the county assembly bundles, volume 4A. If you look at the lookup results, Mr. Speaker, you'll be shocked that the lookup results indicates that these devices were in different towns in Kenya, Mr. Speaker. Kiambu, Kijabe, Eldoret, Ahero, Narok, Yala, Baringo, Nyandarua, and Kapsabet. And Mr. Speaker, I attempted to ask this House to give us an opportunity to demonstrate that on the screen. I was denied that opportunity. I would like to ask this House that we can still do an IP lookup and we determine the physical location of these devices. These devices I proposed, Mr. Speaker, were phones that were used to vote. Mr. Speaker, an issue was raised about IP address which had been used 9 times, 41.139.238.129. And we were told that that was a Wi-Fi that was shared. But Mr. Speaker, there is an IP address, another one, that has been used 3 times. 154.1. Answer that question.
You have exhausted your time, Senator. All right. 2 minutes, you conclude. 2 minutes, you conclude.
If you look at the only thing that my student, because this Philip was my student, I trained him on ITIL, which is an international standard on IT security. The only other serious thing that I've seen is on page 16, where the expert tried to bring a checklist that is used in international ICT audit. But this checklist, Mr. Speaker, if you go through it, there are no supporting documents to this report. They are not supporting. Everywhere except 2 instances is indicated no. The rest are a yes. But there are no supporting documents to support, including the matter of training, whether training for the system was done or not. Mr. Speaker, I want this House to note that you as truly was an expert in presidential petition, Raila Odinga versus IBC, together with Senator Kajwang. And our evidence on the same matter, results transmission, annulled the election, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to take you Article 86 of the Constitution on voting methods. It says the voting method must be simple, accurate, verifiable, secure, accountable, and transparent. Mr. Speaker, this does not qualify in any way to meet the basic requirement under Article 86 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, this House's credibility has been questioned. We have an opportunity to decide whether we want to continue being condemned outside there or make the right decision. I want to urge this House that we need to send back these MCS to do the right job and bring back the right voting numbers. Whether this has met the threshold or not, I want to...
Senator Mungatana.
Mr. Speaker, I want to, first of all, agree with the mover of the motion on one issue. And that's the only issue I'm going to agree with Bonnie Khalwale. That this House must be respected by everybody, by every office. And Mr. Speaker, this House has donated none other than the Deputy President and Cabinet Ministers. So it must be respected by everybody, Mr. Speaker. And I come to my point. Mr. Speaker, I disagree with the mover of this motion. I totally disagree. There is doubt as to the numbers of the people who actually participated in the voting. There is doubt. There is doubt. And you cannot escape that because we have been sitting here for the last 3 days, Mr. Speaker, and every person who has spoken to this matter, Mr. Speaker, including the experts, they have created doubt and continue to create doubt. Mr. Speaker, we are sitting here as a quasi-judicial unit. In fact, it is a criminal case that we are handling, almost like a criminal case. And the question that we must ask ourselves is, what is the standard that must be met when we are proving things? What is the standard? And if we can agree what the standard is, then we should not have a problem with rejecting this motion. Mr. Speaker, we borrow heavily from the American system. In the US, Mr. Speaker, 8 governors have been impeached, and 5 of them have been sent home. 3 have survived, one of them having resigned before the process was completed. Mr. Speaker, in the US, the test is very simple. They say it is legal evidence plus political test. But Mr. Speaker, here in Kenya, we have a standard that is divided into 2. And I want to propose, Mr. Speaker, that when the motion is coming from the county assembly, when we are talking about the issues of threshold, Mr. Speaker, the standard must be like the criminal level standard. It must be beyond reasonable doubt. It must be. On these other motions, on these other charges, then we can adopt the American standard of saying it is legal evidence and political test. But on the question from the county assembly, Mr. Speaker, it must be beyond reasonable doubt. Mr. Speaker, here they have said that the expert report, the ICT authority, is to be followed like it is from the Bible. But Mr. Speaker, he himself, I heard him say that if you have the credentials of the ID and the IDDP, any person could actually vote. He said it himself here. And Mr. Speaker, the other senators are not telling us that that report was not signed by the side of the governors. They did not sign it because they did not agree with it. The ICT man disappeared for 2 hours, and when he came, he was not speaking to anybody. Mr. Speaker,
Senator Professor Tom Ojenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I will address myself to the threshold issue based on the evidence tendered before Senate. Mr. Speaker, witness statements were shown to us from pages 113 and other individual witness statements thereafter. 18 witnesses, Mr. Speaker, testified in a manner as to recant their signature or their vote on the day that voting occurred. That raises doubt, Mr. Speaker. 2, Mr. Speaker, the report that was apparently brought to this House by the IT expert seemed not to have achieved concurrence. It therefore did not conform to the terms of reference that was set or that was set by the Senate for this report to pass the test of authenticity or concurrence of all those who sat to make this report. Mr. Speaker, thirdly, Mr. Speaker, impeachments are not under Articles 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Government Act are set on a threshold that is cast in stone. And that threshold, Mr. Speaker, as cast in stone, speaks to a minimum of 32 MCAs for Kericho County. The moment there's doubt as to a vote, Mr. Speaker, then that doubt must be resolved in favor of the governor. Mr. Speaker, I say this not because I want to be a governor or that I hold a PhD like the governor being impeached, Mr. Speaker, but because I speak the truth. And we must uphold, Mr. Speaker, and protect the office of governor in the same manner, Mr. Speaker, as we protect any other officers. Mr. Wambu, I know you want to be governor. Keep quiet. So, Mr. Speaker, it is that doubt or that shred of doubt, Mr. Speaker, that leads me to the conclusion, Mr. Speaker, and I agree with the analysis of Osotsi, Senator Osotsi, that we cannot sacrifice the governor at the altar of an unverified system. It is unethical and we will not do that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mandago.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, first, I want to disagree with the move of the motion. First, Honorable Speaker, on the issue of credentials, you know I heard Senator Boni Kalwale say the expert from the governor's team, other than a degree, it was dotted with some diploma here and there. I want to remind Boni Kalwale that diploma is a recognized qualification in the Kenya education system. And if he has forgotten, I also want to remind him that his house was built by a person with a diploma in building. And even as we say that the expert from the governor provided a document that was littered with qualification, the expert from ICT Authority, the only thing that we have in this report is his title, Deputy Director of ICT. We don't even know whether he's really an expert. Honorable Speaker, having said that, I'm also an ICT person. And there are very basic things in ICT security you must look at. And all of us know, even when you are opening your own email and you create a password, the system alone will tell you that password is not strong. And there are things that you are not allowed to use as a password, things like identity card number. Honorable Speaker, even as we sit here as senators, our files are in the custody of the clerk. All the staff members of the Senate handle our files. They know our ID numbers. The IPPD number is in the file. They know our IPPD numbers, Honorable Speaker. How then do you say that the credentials were so secure when we all know that ID numbers are in the files, the staff are walking around with the files, they have those ID numbers, they have those credentials? Honorable Speaker, the council from the county assembly said, if an alligator leaves the water and the river and tells you the hippo is sick, who are you to doubt? So for us as senators, if honorable members of county assembly who are alleged to have voted have worked physically here, we are seeing them alive, and they have said they never voted. Honorable Speaker, what reason do we have to doubt that they voted? Honorable Speaker, if you look at this IP, number 41, 139, 237, 129, that appears in the IP lookup to have been in Laikipia, I highly suspect is the one that was used to vote for the 3 honorable members. Honorable Speaker, why did that IP vote for 3 members? Honorable Speaker, this impeachment was premeditated. You cannot in ICT develop a system today, launch a day before, and use it before doing what we call a test run of the system, Honorable Speaker. There is a difference between a voting system that tallies electronic data and a biometric where you just have to put your fingerprint, Honorable Speaker. Biometric is just part of electronic, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the county assembly must tell us, how do you hire an officer who has been fired by the county executive and immediately you can employ them in the county assembly for only one mission, to make sure that you impeach the governor in a manner that is...
Senator, no, you're done. No. We cannot go that route. Senator Mogeni, you have made your point. No. Senator Mogeni. Oh yes, Senator Mogeni, just take your seat. Order. 30 seconds.
Yes, in that 30 seconds, Honorable Speaker, the county assembly members are saying the governor is in gross violation of the law. I had one member of the county assembly saying the governor should have fired the chief officers. While on the same testimony, Honorable Speaker, the MCA acknowledged that that is the work of the County Public Service Board. How then do they say that the governor has violated the laws, Honorable Speaker? Finally, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Mogeni.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir. It is a universally accepted principle, Mr. Speaker, that you would rather acquit 10 suspects, if in doubt, than to acquit, to convict one unfairly. Mr. Speaker, today is my Sabbath, and I came here to understand this system that was developed in Migori, a special purpose vehicle system that was meant to impeach the governor of Kericho. Mr. Speaker, for the 3 days that we have sat here, Mr. Speaker, on my part, I have not been able to understand this system, Mr. Speaker. I'm unable to understand, Mr. Speaker, how this system was allocated to each person in terms of devices, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there is drama that has played out in this House in the eyes of the public, Mr. Speaker. An MCA, Mr. Speaker, called Martin, came to this House, Mr. Speaker, and swore by the name of Almighty God, Mr. Speaker, that he did not cast his vote at the County Assembly of Kericho, Mr. Speaker. Do you believe the system, or do you believe the person who carried the Bible and swore before the Senate, Mr. Speaker? Whom do you trust? Is it the Bible or the system? It's the Bible, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, more drama, Mr. Speaker. The same MCA Martin, Mr. Speaker, played a video before this House that was watched by Kenyans, Mr. Speaker, where the mover of the motion, Mr. Speaker, was recorded in a discussion saying that he voted on behalf of that MCA. Does that create a doubt in the minds of senators? Yes or no? Mr. Speaker, if you are in doubt, acquit. If you have been placed in a situation where there is reasonable doubt as to whether that 3 MCAs voted, acquit, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the expert, Mr. Luvuga, I posed a question to him. I asked him, if an MCA had a link, a username, a password, could he vote on behalf of another MCA? He said, yes. Mr. Speaker, in this House, where I sit there, with that card there, if my neighbor, Senator Wambua, has my PIN, and he wanted to play mischief, Mr. Speaker, he can cast a vote on my behalf, Mr. Speaker. As I submit this evening, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the entire system, Mr. Speaker, reasonable doubt has been created as to whether the 33 MCAs who voted indeed cast their vote. Mr. Speaker, there is what we call the materiality principle. If you remove the 4 MCAs, the motion must fail, and we return it back to the MCAs. If, on the other hand, you are convinced that that 3 MCAs voted, we can move to the next step. My submission this afternoon, Mr. Speaker, is that reasonable doubt has been created as to whether the 33 MCAs voted. The only thing we can do as senators, Mr. Speaker, is to return the motion back to the MCAs in Kericho. They conduct the impeachment in a proper manner, Mr. Speaker, and return to us, Mr. Speaker. Remember the case of O.J. Simpson's. If the gloves cannot fit, acquit. In this case, Mr. Speaker, if we are not convinced that 3 MCAs indeed voted, the motion fails, and we return it back to the county.
Senator Kisang.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As the members have said, I'm an expert. And I want to report to the House that Senator Mandakoa and Senator Osotsi are my juniors in the profession. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, what members needs to be reminded, when the expert from ICT Authority was here, he said for you to vote, you need IBBD number, your ID number, and you need the link that has been sent to your phone so that you can vote. Honorable Speaker, I don't know why our memories are so short that within 2 or 3 hours, we have forgotten what the ICT expert from ICT Authority said, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, secondly, Honorable Speaker, my colleague, Senator Osotsi said the logs that were produced by the expert from ICT Authority are the same as the ones in volume 4A of the County Assembly. That confirms, Honorable Speaker, that what the expert brought is exactly what was done at the County Assembly. Third, Honorable Speaker, if you listened to the expert from ICT Authority, Honorable Speaker, he explained in a layman's language to the senators that IB address is like a gate, like this particular, he pointed to the gate that we use, Honorable Speaker, that this is what the internet service providers use. And he gave us Safaricom, Telcom, and Airtel, Honorable Speaker. So this, the location where my colleagues are saying, it is where the service providers' location were, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there is a question that I put to the two experts that did you undertake penetration test? The expert from the governor did not answer that question. The expert from ICT Authority, Honorable Speaker, said there were several penetrations that failed, and it is in the report. And he said he attempted to do it, and it was not possible, Honorable Speaker, to do it. So I want to urge my colleagues, for the benefit and of the people of Kericho County, I'm requesting and asking you, honorable members, let us support the motion, and then we move to the real issues, so that the people of Kericho County can get justice.
Order,
Honorable Speaker, protect me from some members.
Order.
We don't know where they have come from this night, Honorable Speaker.
Order, honorable senators. Order. Order. Senator Fernandi. Order. Senator Fernandi. Order, honorable senators. Now, Senator Fernandi. Senator Chimera and Senator Fernandi, I give you a first question for the evening. And Senator Fernandi, I give you your first question for the evening. Any other disorderly conduct, I'll throw you out of the chamber. Conclude.
Honorable Speaker, as an expert who still practices, and I practiced from 2nd of November 1994, after working.
One minute, you conclude. 1 minute, you conclude. Honorable Senator.
Honorable Speaker, as an expert who has practiced for over 34 years, Honorable Speaker, between the two experts, I believe the expert from ICT Authority. And for your information, we did not seek for the profile for the expert from ICT Authority. And to reach that level of a deputy director, you must have masters in ICT. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Finally, Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader, will 5 minutes be okay?
No, Mr. Speaker. You know, I tried not to speak during this entire process. Anyway, I will try, Mr. Speaker.
Try, because if you see at the clock, we're at 11. And you know exactly what that means.
Okay, I understand.
So
Speaker.
keep it under 5 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, I must record that this has been a very difficult 3 days. I've sat here for many years transacting impeachments, but I didn't know the feeling when your own county is on trial. It's embarrassing, Mr. Speaker, traumatizing, and heartbreaking. Mr. Speaker, I must register my appreciation to colleagues in this House. First, for agreeing to listen to our issues. That you must receive in great measure from the people of Kericho. Up to this point, Mr. Speaker, I want to pass my appreciation to this House because as of Wednesday morning, when this trial began, Mr. Speaker, there were doubts in the minds of many people in Kericho
that this impeachment hearing was going to go the way of the previous impeachment hearing, Mr. Speaker, where the county assembly was sent back with a bundle of documents without listening to what are the issues that the people of Kericho are facing. For that, I must register my appreciation, colleagues. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I have taken time to follow this exercise for the last 3 days. When Mr. Alfred Korir, and I'll limit my conversation on this topic, Mr. Speaker, to purely on the motion that is before us. But if should time allow, I'll say something at the end of it. I listened to the first gentleman who was brought here, Mr. Alfred Korir, the ICT gentleman from the County Assembly. And he explained himself quite clearly on the exercise that took place on that particular day of voting, Mr. Speaker, up to the end. When the counsels for the governor rose and poked holes into his presentations, they created some level of doubt in me. And I said, perhaps maybe there is something that is in there. Mr. Speaker, as a son of Kericho, I know many people that work in the County Assembly of Kericho. Therefore, out of the abundance of caution, I made specific phone calls to the people who sat in the chamber as the members of the County Assembly were voting. And I asked them specific questions, because this case has finally boiled down to the 3 votes of the MCA for Kapkatet, the MCA for Kapkurgerwet, and the MCA for, I forget the other, Cheplanget, Mr. Speaker. And I asked them specifically, please tell me, as your senator, what I need to tell my colleagues when I eventually rise to speak to them. And that gentleman assured me and told me those 3 gentlemen voted in support of this motion, Mr. Speaker. But later on, because these are people that I know, came in here and they took the Bible, they took the oath, Mr. Speaker, and they said that they had not voted. Therefore, I said, let me listen further to be convinced. As fate will have it, Mr. Speaker, in your usual wise way, you guided this House that perhaps we needed the opinion of an independent expert, somebody who's neutral to the conflict, somebody who has no interest to protect, somebody who just wants to serve their country and guide the Parliament of the Republic of Kenya to make the right decision, Mr. Speaker. I said I'll listen to that one. Mr. Speaker, the gentleman that came here, I have never met him. I want to believe that he has very little interaction, perhaps with the people of Kericho, save for the fact that he was executing an assignment granted by this House, Mr. Speaker. He has returned to this House a verdict. In fact, Mr. Speaker, I want to ask, why are we debating this motion? I thought you already gave a ruling that because we cannot make an impartial decision for one reason or the other, maybe for want of understanding of technology, Mr. Speaker, or because of other interests, let us invite an expert to guide us. An expert has gone through the system. They have given us a result. What are we debating, Mr. Speaker? Why are we voting, Mr. Speaker? Mr. Speaker, we are being unfair to ourselves, even procedurally, as a House. Why did we call experts? It's because we knew, even amongst ourselves, Mr. Speaker, the so-called IT experts in the House will not agree. Mr. Speaker, at least I have listened to Senator Kisang, somebody that I respect so much. I have gone to his private office. I know that he practices IT. But you know, Mr. Speaker, nowadays everybody, even somebody just downloads WhatsApp onto their phone, and they all of a sudden they say they are ICT experts. Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Yes, Speaker.
Are you therefore suggesting that the Senate is wrong by bringing this motion?
Correct. I am very clear in my mind, Mr. Speaker, that upon the tabling of this report by the expert, as per your direction, we should have proceeded to look into the issues.
Now, order, honorable senators. Order. Senator Aaron Cheriot, You're the majority leader in this Senate.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
That motion is yours. Why did you bring it if you didn't believe in it?
That motion, listen, Mr. Speaker, you need to hear me. I am now speaking as a senator representing the people of Kericho. That motion has been brought by the office of the majority leader.
Proceed, Senator, proceed.
The most useful thing for me, Mr. Speaker, in this House, before being majority leader, is first to represent the interests of the people of Kericho. And that is what I am doing. Mr. Speaker, I want to remind you something. That as you listen to colleagues contribute, I want to urge colleagues that you can disagree with the things that have been said. But honestly...
Order, Senator for Meru and Senator for Nairobi City County. Allow the majority leader speaking at the Senate of Kericho. This is a very emotional moment for him. The only thing you can do is to support. Proceed. Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I don't know.
Order. Now, Senator for Kiambu County, I'm going to caution you for the evening. You proceed to be disorderly. You may not have the opportunity to exercise the right to vote. Proceed. Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, page 5 out of 22.
Order, Senator Thangwa. Unless you don't want to participate in the remaining part of this proceeding. Proceed.
Page 5 of the 22 out of this report, Mr. Speaker, the expert answers a question that many of you, colleague senators, continue to cling on as you explain why you don't want us to open the real case and look into the issues of the people of Kericho. Because he states, was it possible for any MCA or any other person who had a link to vote on the motion on behalf of an MCA or another MCA? The answer, in caps and in bold, Mr. Speaker, is no. You cannot vote for any other person, an MCA, with the link provided alone. You need to have the other details. And Senator Kisang, together with that expert, Mr. Speaker, have already debunked this theory by the governor's team, Mr. Speaker, that there are MCAs who voted for others. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I know, I've been in this house long enough. And I know when people have decided, they have decided. But I want to make a humble plea to you, colleagues, that even when you have decided on a matter, at least, at the very least, respect the work of professionals. It is not fair, Mr. Speaker, some of the comments that have been made about an innocent gentleman who was just seated on his desk doing his work yesterday afternoon. It is us who invited him to come to this house. That gentleman, Mr. Speaker, had no business coming here. How can we invite a gentleman to this house, Mr.
Senator
Speaker?
Hezana, you're disorderly. Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I'm about to conclude, so I want to plead that my colleagues listen to me. I want to register the appreciation of the people of Kericho to this gentleman who gave us the green light and assured us that what the assembly did is right. Not because I have anything against the governor, Mr. Speaker. This gentleman is somebody I know very well. This gentleman, Mr. Speaker, is a governor duly elected. But I wanted to listen to the things that the MCAs have alleged. Today, as I stand here, Mr. Speaker, I will go home. I don't know how members will vote. I want to plead with you, Mr. Speaker, not the Speaker actually, with you colleague members, that allow us the opportunity, at least so that the people of Kericho can know what exactly the Senate of the Republic of Kenya thinks on all the issues that the county assembly has brought before you. Do you want to tell me, leaders, that you are surely going home convinced that the county assembly has not been able to prove beyond reasonable doubt that there is systemic corruption in the county government of Kericho? Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, or fortunately, we may never get to that particular point if this motion doesn't carry the favor of members. But I want to tell the people of Kericho, speaking from this house, that justice you will get by any means necessary. It can be from this house, Mr. Speaker, or, Mr. Speaker, through other agencies constitutionally charged, Mr. Speaker, to ensure, Mr. Speaker,
that when public funds are pilfered and looted, Mr. Speaker, they are recovered. There are companies that have been named here. There are individual directors, Mr. Speaker, that own those companies. They are directors of those institutions, Mr. Speaker, in the public institution that is the county government of Kericho, who engage in those exercises, Mr. Speaker. We want to tell you that by bad luck, if you escape the Senate today, you will not escape the next trap that the people of Kericho have laid for you. I thank you and rest my case.
Now, Senator Boni, as you respond, look at that clock. If you can do it under 1 minute, you'll help the Senate.
Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the leader of the majority for allowing me to move this motion. I am very, very satisfied and happy for the reason that the House has now risen to the level it should be as a house of debate. You are not supposed to agree. You are not supposed to agree. You are supposed to disagree and then convince your colleague for him to see your point. You've done very well, colleagues. Vote the way you want. But let me, as I appeal to you, that we allow this motion to go on until we hear the full motion, let me appeal to you something. Something I learned in medical school. A professional. My professor of orthopedics, Professor Mulimba, was approached by a medical student whose father was suffering from diabetes. And Mulimba said, for you to treat this diabetes, the problem is the rotten foot. Let us amputate. The boy said, no, you are a professor, but you cannot amputate the limb of my father. Beg as professor begged. The boy refused. The diabetes consumed because the boy didn't want the opinion of the professional. Luvuga has been here a professional. Pay attention to him. He is right, whether you like it or not. I move.
Now, honorable senators, we are moving to division. We are going to vote on this first motion. Now, voting shall be by delegation, and therefore I will ask the Sergeant-at-Arms to ring the division bell for 2 minutes. Two minutes.
The moment you bank on it, you come in a channel, so. Are they okay? Yes.
login again.
Mambo.
Order, honorable senators, the 2 minutes are over. Kindly take your seats. Honorable senators, please take your seats. Senator for Kitui. Honorable senators, kindly take your seats. Senator Bass and Deputy Speaker. Order, honorable senators, let us take our seats. Senator Okio Omtata. Senator for Kiambu County. The miracle senator, kindly take your seat. Order, Senator Eddie. Now, honorable senators will move to vote. Now, before you vote, I need to put the question, which I'll proceed to do right now. But before we do that, Sergeant at Arms, kindly lock the door and draw the bar. Senator Boy Issa. Now, honorable senators, I'll now proceed to put the question. Order, Senator Fomero. That aware that pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Governments Act, on Friday, 15th of August 2025, the County Assembly of Kericho approved a motion for the removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Dr. Erick Mutai, Governor of Kericho County. Noting by a letter reference number KCA/SP/3 Volume 1 into brackets 39, dated Friday, 15th of August 2025, and received in the office of the Speaker of the Senate on Monday, 18th of August 2025, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kericho informed the Speaker of the Senate, Senator Mundeki, informed the Speaker of the Senate of the approval of the motion by the County Assembly, and further forwarded to the Speaker of the Senate documents in evidence of the proceedings of the Assembly, including the list of 33 out of 47 members of the County Assembly that voted in favor of the removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Dr. Erick Mutai, the Governor of Kericho County. Further, noting that in the course of the hearing, an important question arose on whether the threshold of 32 votes needed for impeachment of a governor, as contemplated in Section 33 of the County Governments Act and Standing Order 74 of the County Assembly of Kericho, was met, considering the evidence adduced before the Senate by the parties on the issue, and further considering the report of the County Assembly of Kericho Chamber electronic voting system submitted by ICT experts on the invitation of the Senate. Now, therefore, the Senate resolves that the threshold required for removal of a governor from office by impeachment contemplated in Section 33 of the County Governments Act and Standing Order 74 of the County Assembly of Kericho was met. Now, honorable senators, before we vote, kindly pull out the cards from your delegates unit. And sergeant at arms, move around the chamber, collect any unattended card that is still in the delegate unit. Sergeant at arms, if you're done with that exercise, kindly let me know. Sergeant at arms, are we done? Thank you. Now, honorable senators, kindly log back. Now, before you vote, let me make it very clear so that we do not make mistakes. If you vote yes, you're basically saying yes, the threshold was met. If you vote no, you're saying no, the threshold was not met, and therefore this matter ends here. Have you logged in? Honorable senators, you may now proceed to vote. Order, honorable senators, we have not suspended the standing orders. Senator Thangwa, proceed to dispatch and cast your vote. Senator Thangwa, proceed to cast your vote, please. Proceed to vote, Senator. Honorable Senator, proceed to vote. Honorable Senators, kindly take your seats. Senator Boni, please, would you wish to sit there or you want to proceed to your usual seat? Now, honorable senators, the result of the vote on the division is as follows. Ayes 16, nays 26, abstention 1. So the nays have it. Now, honorable senators, as I had earlier indicated, in the event that the Senate finds that the two-thirds threshold of 32 members of the County Assembly was not met, then the impeachment proceedings shall immediately terminate, and the Senate shall now proceed to determine the impeachment charges. The result of the division indicates that the motion has been negatived. Consequently, the impeachment hearing hereby terminates. Honorable senators, rise. There being no other business to transact, this Senate stands adjourned until Tuesday, 23rd of September 2025 at 2:30 p.m.